Big ciao to everyone, as today we go right into one of the more exciting parts of every trip to Italy, cocktails. Like all things Italian, and as you might have already imagined, into every drink there's a bit of history poured alongside. And it's all those stories we'll be exploring now. Full disclaimer, this is a really exciting topic for me as I've been a bartender for a long time, and a drinks enthusiast for even longer, and this subject has always fascinated me. So in this video I'm going to talk about a specific type of cocktail, the aperitif. Perhaps the perfect drink to have on a hot summer's day whilst getting lost between the streets of an old Italian town, before enjoying a nice lunch or about to have dinner. The story of the Italian aperitif begins with the story of the spritz, which originates in the 1800s in the Veneto region of northern Italy. It was in that period that German soldiers from the Austro-Hungarian Empire were stationed here. They weren't too fond of Italian wine, finding it a bit too dry and sour for their palate. Accustomed to sweeter wine like Riesling or to beer, they began asking for a splash, or a spritzer in German, of still water to be added to their wine. I admit, a bit odd not liking Italian wine, but something even more strange happens next. Italians like it. Yes, the very same Italians that raise an eyebrow when you add too much milk in your coffee after lunch and religiously respect their food recipes, those Italians decided this is a good idea, and went on to further improve on it. Because of that, all around the Veneto region, everyone starts creating various spirits to improve on the spritzer, and to augment or improve the recipe and give it more flavor. At this point, herbal liquors and secret recipes, experiments and competition, bitter and sour drinks pop up everywhere, and the boozy arms race begins between the towns of northern Italy. In 1860, in Novara, Gaspare Campari creates the bitter Campari, a drink obtained from an infusion of herbs, fruits and aromatic plants, with alcohol and water. It goes on sale for the first time in Novara at the Café dell'Amicizia, before moving to Milan 2 years later. Café Campari is opened in 1867 in Milan and becomes a trendy place for artists and high-class people from the city. In 1915, Davide Campari, the son of the inventor, opens another venue called Camparino, where he begins selling the bitter as an aperitif, served neat in cold glasses with a splash of seltzer, and that proves to be a huge success, and the precursor to the Campari soda. Campari is an iconic drink and an essential in every bar because of its versatility and because it's one of the main ingredients in two other legendary Italian cocktails. At Campari's bar in Milan in the 1860s, an American, thinking he would get a long drink, ordered a bitter and hated it, suggesting to add ice and soda to improve the taste. The bartender was happy to indulge his client, but the result was still too bitter for the American. So vermouth was added to sweeten the drink, and after meddling with it a bit more, and adding a slice of orange as garnish, the Americano was born, one of the most iconic cocktails ever created. This drink becomes incredibly popular in Europe, and as the years pass in Florence in 1919, at Café Cassoni, fate strikes again when Count Camillo Negroni walks in and orders an Americano, but with a twist. He suggests changing the soda water with gin to make the drink stronger. Needless to say, the result was the drink that bears his name to this day, the Negroni, a cocktail consisting of equal parts of Campari, vermouth and gin, poured over ice and garnished with an orange slice. Simple and delicious. While the Campari bitter was getting a lot of attention and growing increasingly popular, the spritz wars continued in the background. Right after the First World War, two big names emerged, Aperol and Select, who battled for the spotlight ever since. Aperol was introduced in 1919 by brothers Luigi and Silvio Barbieri in Padova after they fiddled for 7 years with orange peels, gentian root, rhubarb and spices in their father's distillery. In the 1920s, Aperol Spritz was advertised as an aperitif that would keep you slim, and by 1980 it was appreciated at bars all over the Veneto region. However, Aperol was not as fancy as it is today. It was served in rocks tumblers that are harder to break, because it was mostly enjoyed by all drunks. It was also a popular drink to be enjoyed in city squares with friends in hot summer's days, but it was only in 2003 that Campari bought Aperol. It was a move designed to help control the Venetian market, but its new owner also made a genius move. They started serving the drink in wine glasses, elevating the drink from a corner bar level to a fancy lounge drink. But there were victims as well. To appeal a wider international crowd, the olive, traditionally used as a garnish, was removed, leaving only the orange slice in the drink. Then a wild marketing campaign followed, which left Venetians stunned at the worldwide attention the once humble spritz was getting. But eventually they got used to it, and now Aperol is so popular that almost every bar in the world has a bottle on display and the spritz on the menu. In 1920, Select Aperitivo enters the scene as well, straight from Venice and taking the Venetian cocktail scene by storm. The makers of the drink, the Pila brothers, used more than 30 botanicals to create a red, bittersweet flavored drink, which became synonymous with the Venetian spritz. For a very long time, Select was the main player on the scene of Italian aperitifs, and was popularized in the 20s and 30s by the Italian actors who called it the best aperitif in the world. It is still one of the best known liqueurs from Italy and popular to this day around Venice and the northern part of the country. Then, in 1952, the little brother of the aperitivo family arrived, Cynar, made from 13 different plants, most notably artichokes. It has a brown, bittersweet flavor. Cynar quickly became popular and was enjoyed not just in a spritz, but also on its own or mixed with soda, tonic water or orange juice. Because of its artichoke base, Cynar is also considered a digestif, as well as an aperitif. In 1995, it also became part of the Campari group and is now a versatile and popular drink worldwide. One of the most fundamental moments in the history of the spritz was the introduction of Prosecco to the mix in the 1970s. Until then, the spritz was made using white wine, but the development of mass production of Prosecco, allowing for fermentation in steel vats, made the drink much cheaper and easier to produce. More importantly, the Prosecco turned the spritz into a fizzy wonder, and today, the standard recipe for almost every spritz is a mix of 2 parts liquor, 3 parts Prosecco, and 1 part sparkling water, along with plenty of ice and a slice of orange to make the perfect drink for a hot afternoon. There are many types of spritz today, made with Aperol, Campari, Cynar, Select, and even Limoncello, and a wide variety to satisfy every taste. These versatile drinks are perfect for enjoying a chilled moment in good company and with a tasty snack. Let me know about your favorite Italian aperitif in the comments below, and don't forget to give us a like and why not even a subscribe if you find this video interesting.